Welcome back. And this video, I'm going to be showing you a bot building platform. It's obviously my bot building platform. It's called Chatmatic. Many of you may already be using it, in which case some of this is going to look a little familiar to you. But I really want to just go over how you use this sort of platform to build a bot, understanding what it means, and again, going kind of back into some of the older videos that we talked about where, for instance, a bot versus a broadcast. And I know a lot of times people kind of don't understand that ultimately those are the same thing. A bot and a broadcast, it's the same thing. It's a message. And what you do with that message is kind of up to you. So what I'm going to be showing you right now is more of a screenshot version and not a live preview of the bot builder, just because I wanted to give you sort of a clear image of what actually could take place. So what you'll see in most bot platforms is you'll have some way to navigate between your fan pages. This is an example of, all the fan pages that I could have in my account. And so if I click on one, and again, this is Chatmatic, and so you'll see it'll look basically exactly like this if you use Chatmatic. But you go in and it shows you how many comments you have on your fan page, mostly just because we want you to know, hey, this is how much activity is taking place on your fan page. And since a comment can send a message, this gives you a little bit of an understanding of, okay, well, I have 461 comments. That could be 461 messages that I've sent. And so obviously take it from there. How many subscribers you've gotten. So that means how many people have engaged with your bot. I again want to focus on the point that a subscriber in Messenger is just somebody who has, and this is what Facebook describes them as. A subscriber in Messenger is anybody who is subscribed to your bot. And all that means is anyone who has messaged your fan page, anybody who has signed up on one of your opt-in pages, basically anybody who is engaged with your Messenger platform. One thing I want to point out is, a lot of people confuse comment triggers as something that generates a subscriber. And I want to talk about this really quickly, because if I have a post on my fan page, let's say it's this one that's highlighted, and I send somebody a message when they comment, technically they are a subscriber for one message, right? So they will be a subscriber via Facebook's definition of a subscriber. However, I don't have the ability to broadcast to them, and they are not technically a long-term subscriber. The only way that I can make that happen is if I send them a message because they commented on one of my posts and they message me back, now they're a subscriber because now they've engaged in my bot versus, and hopefully you can see the difference, if somebody comments on a post and I send them a message, that isn't them engaging with my bot. That's my bot engaging them. And so that doesn't count them as a subscriber. Facebook wants people to take some sort of deliberate messenger action before allowing them to become a subscriber. It's basically that simple. So what you'll see here is when you first go to your fan page, or your fan page sort of dashboard, you'd see up in the right a total number of subscribers that you currently have, and you'd see at the bottom here, we realized at Chatmatic that this was one of the favorite platform tools that everybody likes to use. And so we put it on the home page. This is your comment triggers, and this will allow you to select a post or an ad. If you wanted an ad, you would just search by the post ID. And this will search and bring up your actual post. You can turn them on and off. So if I click on one of these ads, it would say, okay, enter your trigger message here. So this is the message that you want to send somebody when they comment on that post. The great thing is we can also do include sending keywords. So if you put an include keyword here, that means that anybody who types that word, that's the only way they're going to get the message, versus an exclude keyword, which would be if somebody says this word, don't send them the message. So a great example of this might be that if somebody said no, well, I don't want to send them the message, versus an include keyword. If somebody says yes, that's the only way they get the message. So if somebody said hello, they're not going to get the automatic reply. So that's something to keep in mind. If you want everybody to get the message, then you should not layer an include keyword on there, and then everybody who comments will get the message. you'll see down here we've got some what we call merge tags. Any information that we can, you can put them into the message. You'll also see some statistics here. So right from there, you can also switch between your accounts just like that. You click that little button. And now let's go to the subscribers tab for a second. Let me shut my door. So now we're at the subscriber tab, and I'm missing a wheel on my chair, so I don't want to fall over. And so what you'll see here is a list of everybody who has subscribed to your bot. And you may also see, and that's why this column says subscriber, you may also see people who are not subscribed to your bot but have messaged your fan page, in which case if they've messaged your fan page, they're technically a subscriber. So it'll be very rare that you have somebody who's not a subscriber. But underneath this information, we will show you down here, when you click on a subscriber, we will show you where they came from, what they're subscribed to. You'll be allowed to unsubscribe them from your bot. You can add notes. And then in the top right, you can actually have a conversation with them. And one thing that you're not seeing here is we will have, very soon, we'll have the ability to what's called pause or incubate a certain person. So I'll explain that later down the line. But this is just a way for you to kind of bring Facebook Messenger into Chatmatic as your CRM. Over time, you'll be able to tag certain employees in case there's a question that's being asked that you can't answer. And so there's a lot of really cool functionality to this. But for the most part, this is just a list of your subscribers and the ability to now chat with that person and leave some remarks about them. So we've got that. Obviously, again, you could switch back between your fan pages at any time. This would be your account. So now let's get into the really kind of nitty gritty, because so far what we've talked about isn't that complicated. But one of the things that most of you guys are going to be doing is creating campaigns. So let's go ahead in here, and I'm going to show you how we would create a campaign inside of Chatmatic. And a campaign is simply anything that is generated in the hopes that you can create a subscriber through it. So for instance, maybe you want to create a landing page where somebody opts in to receive messages from your bot. Maybe it's reminders, maybe it's notifications. It could be any number of things. And so again, I want to just really highlight the fact that you can generate a subscriber anytime somebody messages your fan page, right? Now that's on Facebook subscribers. That's like, there's no real difference in them aside from the fact that those subscribers come on Facebook. And then there's also ways you can get subscribers off of Facebook. And one of those is a landing page, which I'll show you here. You also have the ability to create a modal, which is just basically something that you would install on your website and it would pop up on your website, like an exit pop-up or, a discount code, anything like that. And the great thing is now you can offer people a discount code without them having to opt in. They just click send a messenger. It sends, the discount code into Messenger, or you can put it on the thank you page. But now you've got a Messenger subscriber. You can walk them through this really cool bot environment. We also have a sidebar where you'll be able to actually put a subscribe action at the top of a website, at the bottom of a website, that kind of thing. We'll also have the ability to just add a button. If you just want to take a button that will subscribe somebody and put it anywhere on your website, you can do that. Checkbox, same idea. And so let's just say we chose landing page. You'll see here on the right, this is actually a full typed out demo, but you would drag and drop your image here. You would have your description, which obviously goes here, and you'd have your headline, which goes there. And so your landing page would look like this on a mobile device. And then once somebody clicks send a messenger, that's our post submit action. And you're going to be able to choose, do you want to redirect them to a URL or do you want to show a success page? This would be an example of a success page where, again, you'd have a headline, a description, an image, and then down here you could redirect. If somebody clicks this custom button, you could redirect them to a new URL. Or simply choose redirect to URL. It'll ask you where do you want to redirect somebody, so that now when they submit their, when they opt in back here on this pre-submit page, you can redirect them directly to a thank you page that has your tracking pixel on it. There's all kinds of things you could do. So now I go next, and from here, this is what's amazing. Once somebody actually opts into your page or authorizes you through Messenger, you get to send them a message right away. And we have the ability for you to select an existing message, which is really cool. So you could, if you already created a broadcast or some sort of message that you want to send to them, you can actually select it here, or you could create a new message. And I'm going to walk you through what that looks like. So again, this is a message that goes instantly into Messenger. And now I launched the new message builder. And what we have here is this ability to create rich media. And so I've discussed this before. You guys can tell now based on the media types video that this is a card. The attributes of a card are an image, a headline, a description. That's it. You'll notice this one has a button, right? And so hopefully you guys are starting to see more examples of what these things are, and you'll understand, oh, okay, this is how this is going to work. And so over here on the toolbox, you'll have, and over time, you'll see many more of these, but you have the ability to create, what kind of rich media you want to send. So the first thing you would do is you would type a name into the flow name. And what that allows you to do later, once you name this, you could create 10 campaigns that all get this same message, and you would just select this message. So you would upload your image. So what would happen here is, this is by default, this is going to be blank. And then when you add a card, you would see this information, this little gray area here inside of this lighter gray area. You see card details. Whenever you want to remove something, you can just hit this trash can. It would delete the whole item. And so this is your card. Your attributes on your card are a link. So when somebody clicks on the card, where do they go? The description, which is down here. The headline, which is right there. And then the image that you want to appear up here. We're going to be giving you recommended sizes, things like that. But and you can see down here, this is button text. So by default, none of these things have buttons on them. Buttons, though, are what will engage people with your bot, leading on, you can do all kinds of different things with this. One thing that you can do is open up a phone call with that person. So you'll see that over time. Right now, what we're doing to keep it simple for everybody is we're allowing you to have them open a URL or send them a new message when they click a button. So this is a great example. We added a button. The button text would say yes. And so if somebody clicks yes, what do we want to do? We want to open a URL, or do we want to send them a new message? Again, in this bot building system, you can delete this item right here very simply. And you can add another button. And I believe you can have up to 5 buttons on one card. That's for anybody who's looking for that. So let's say I wanted to send a new message. Well, what's great is it'll say, okay, yes. And then you would have to add another toolbox, right? And so what I would do is, right now, as you can see, this is blue highlighted, which means that's the selected thing that I'm editing. If I clicked back up here, it would take me back to the screen I was just on and allow me to continue to edit that one. This one, I'm now editing, and I would have, in this case, this is a plain text message with 2 buttons, right? So I would have hit text. I added a button, and you can see button text 1, and I could delete it if I wanted to, but it says yes, button text 1, yes 2. You get the gist. Now, if somebody clicks yes 2, we're going to open a URL, and here's the URL that we want to send them to. Now, the no way button, we've got this one minimized for now, but what we did is we selected where if somebody clicks no way, we want to send them a new message, right? And so that new message might be an image. So you would have clicked image, you upload your image, bingo, there it is. Now, in this case, I'm going to show you what it would look like if you sent them a carousel. So let's add a carousel, and you can see now carousel item 1. And so right away, your carousel only has 1 image, and that looks a lot like a card, as you can see. We don't have any buttons on this one. And so if I wanted to add a carousel item, you'll be able to do that by clicking this button or by clicking here. And again, the carousel is exactly like a card. We have a URL, a description, a headline, and an image. These represent items in a scrollable fashion. And again, I would go through the media types again if you're confused or looking for more sort of clarification on the uses of each of these. But let's say I wanted to add a carousel item. Now we've got 2, and you'll see these are like scrollable. So in a message, you would only really see one of these, and you'd see like the edge of another one. But right here, you can see that's the information from carousel 1. This is the information from carousel item 2. And you'll continue to scroll down, seeing the different carousel items. And so if we wanted to now, we could also add a video to this. So now what's great is when they click shop now or whatever it is that they click, or they type shop now, you can actually send them 2 messages at the same time. It doesn't just have to be 1 message. You can have what I would call a cascading message. And what it'll look like is you have your carousel up here, which you can also minimize just like it is done here. And then the video. Now it's going to ask you to upload your video. You can add buttons to videos as well. And you can see here, this would be a watch video, and you might open a URL. So now from here, let's say this is the message that I want to send. When somebody opts into my funnel, I send them this, which obviously is a very incomplete dummy version of what I would want to send, but I would name it, I would hit save and complete, and that would take me back to finishing this campaign. So now I've got a landing page. When somebody opts in, they're going to get sent a thank you page that looks just like this, and they're going to be delivered a message into Messenger. And all I've got to do is send them to this URL. I'll get these opt-ins. But what's great is now they're becoming subscribers. So now I can actually send them broadcasts, which function very much the same way as the message builder you just saw. So I go ahead and hit next. And now what I might do, let's go ahead and go back here. I want to go through campaigns and broadcasts. A lot of times they're very similar, but your broadcasts are here. And what you're going to notice is for broadcasts, you can have, this is actually going to be called engaged. It's not really a broadcast, because what we want to do is we want to impress upon everybody that you are engaging people. You are not broadcasting to them, because I think that broadcast kind of carries this negative connotation of just like blasting people. Because with engage, you can build messages that do a lot of different things. And I think that it's important to know that here you can actually build messages that do a lot of very incredible things. And just looking at the key here, you can make a message that goes out to a list of subscribers. So that's considered a broadcast. And remember, go back to the rules that we have. You're going to have to tell our system, is this a marketing message? Is this a notification? Or is this a one-time 24-hour or a one-time get out of jail free message? If you're sending a broadcast, you're going to be able to send it to a list of people who are already engaged in your bot. Now you can have auto responses, and auto responses are a setup. And again, this is in previous videos, so please make sure that you watch those and you pay close attention to those, because you're going to want to know how those function in here. Auto responses are, let's say somebody's in your messenger and they type a message that you don't have any sort of answer for, that's created in a bot. A great example is, you might have, and the next one I'm going to talk about here is a keyword message. You might have a keyword message that's set up to, if somebody says, show me a hot chocolate recipe, you might have a bot that's set up to see that somebody said hot chocolate, and you're going to respond to them with a recipe for hot chocolate. Now, if somebody says, show me a grilled cheese recipe, and you don't have a keyword message set up for that, you can have an auto response set up that says, basically, anytime somebody messages my fan page, send them this, right? By default, any keyword message would take over if there's a keyword. So if they said hot chocolate, your auto response message won't get sent because they said hot chocolate. But you still want to respond to everybody. So you might have auto response messages that say, X, Y, and Z. You can also have a welcome message. So when somebody goes to your fan page, they're going to, create a welcome. They're going to see a welcome message. And then also another kind of engagement that you might have is a campaign linked message, which again, that just means that you built a campaign. This message is only linked to that campaign. So basically that message is only going to get sent when somebody opts into your like opt-in page or some sort of engagement process. So there's a lot of different kinds of messages that you can run. And again, they're based off of reaction or proaction. So again, a broadcast is very proactive. Somebody is already subscribed to your page and you are going out of your way to message them. Auto responses are when somebody messages you, you can automatically reply. A keyword message is, okay, somebody messaged you and it has a specific word in it. You can reply back with a specific kind of message that leads down this interesting path. A welcome message is somebody's going to send you a message. They're in Messenger. What do they see? And A campaign linked message is, this is a message that somebody just opted in. What are they going to get? So there's all these different kinds of messages you can create in our Engage platform. Now, one of the really cool things that sets us aside from most other platforms is our integrations. We integrate with Shopify, we integrate with Infusionsoft, WordPress, YouTube, Facebook, and we're going to be integrating with a lot of other platforms. And what this allows us to do is you'll just go in and you'd say, okay, let's do a Shopify integration. You'd connect your Shopify store. On the right-hand side, it would say, okay, this is connected. You'd whitelist your Shopify domain. And now our system will automatically place a checkbox on your store. This checkbox for the first month will be unchecked. Basically, if somebody checks that checkbox, it's going to automatically follow up with them through Facebook Messenger if they don't purchase from you. So that's one automation that we have. You'll notice here, the purpose of all of our integrations is to automate messaging to people based on activity. So I'll explain how some of these go, but the great news is this is going to make your business, whether you're doing it for other people or for yourself, a lot easier. So if I go into automations, you'll see here, this will look a little different for most of you. It'll actually probably all be under integrations in the future. There won't be an automations tab, but you get the gist. So if I click add new, you'll notice this looks just like the messenger builder, the message builder we were just using. The big difference here is this has a pre-built message already in it. And you'll notice up here, there's icons. So what's going to happen is you're going to select what kind of automation this is. So you're under the Shopify system. You would only see a cart. When you click on the cart, it's going to say, okay, because you're doing a follow-up via the Shopify integration, we're going to send everybody who adds an item to your cart, we're going to send them a 1 hour message, right? So 1 hour after they add something to the cart but don't purchase, they're going to get this message. Go ahead and customize it. So we customize it. I can add an additional message to it. We can add buttons, all kinds of really cool stuff. And then again, we're going to do the same thing at 22 hours. Now you would customize that message. If you don't want a 22-hour message, you can delete it and we won't send it. If you want to look at what it's going to look like, you would just toggle over here to 22-hour message. So again, this is an automation. So this is based on your Shopify store if you have Shopify. We're going to be doing the same kinds of automation, and you'll notice up here, this is a receipt, for instance. So if you have Infusionsoft, we're going to integrate with Infusionsoft. We're going to place a checkbox on your order pages automatically when you integrate with us. Anybody who selects that will get their receipt instantly sent to them through Messenger. And the beautiful part about this is you can attach an additional message, sending them back to your upsell funnel, doing all kinds of things, maybe even sending them login information. There's just a lot that we're going to be able to do for you guys through these automations to make it to where you actually get to deliver assets that your customers want. You'll notice we have notifications, we have live video, and we have new posts. So in Facebook, you're going to be able to set up a notification that goes out to all of your subscribers that says, hey, we just had a new post on our Facebook page, or hey, we're going live on Facebook, or hey, we're going live on YouTube, or we just had a new video on YouTube, or our webinar is live in 10 minutes. Come join us here. All of these are going to be automations based off of integrations that we have in outside platforms. So those of you guys who are running webinars, if you want to automatically send a notification 10 minutes before your webinar, we can do that for you, which is pretty cool. You would just integrate your webinar platform, tell us which webinar you want to send these notifications for. Boom, we'll send a 10-minute prior notification, and it will automatically contain the link to the webinar. So on the next page, you're going to be able to set up, and this is mostly for broadcasting. If you were going to send a broadcast, you would see a screen like this, where again, it's going to be named. You're going to tell us, is this a marketing message? Is this a notification? Or is this a one-time get out of jail free message? You're also going to have to describe the message to us. So don't just tell us that it's marketing, or don't just tell us it's notification. If you tell me it's a notification, we're going to ask you, okay, what kind of notification? And did they deliberately sign up for it? We don't want you guys to get into trouble, so we want to make sure that we're delivering this. And then underneath, you could select, okay, let's send this immediately, or let's send this after a short delay. And then also you can add conditions. So if this message only goes to men, now you've got a message that only men can receive this. And what's going to be great is up at the top, this number would automatically update based on who's going to get it. So again, this is what it would look like if you were sending a broadcast. This number would automatically update. So if you have a list of 2,000 people and 1,000 are men, at this point, you would see only 1,000 people are going to get it. Well, now let's add another condition. Let's say they have to have subscribed after December 22nd. Okay, well now this number would jump down to 100, right? Let's add another condition and say if the user is subscribed to this campaign. The great thing about this is you could send a message to somebody who's subscribed to one list but isn't subscribed to another, right? So eventually it'll allow you to sort of segment out buyers. If you have buyers, you don't have to message them a certain thing, or somebody who was active on a certain list. We're going to have the ability to add tags. So if you tag a certain user, you can exclude them or include them. There's a lot of really cool stuff that you can do, but by default, it's just going to basically think of every single subscriber that you have as one big list. From there, you can select any sort of segmentation you want in the conditions department. Now, the beautiful thing is, again, you can set these conditions up for any kind of message. They're just mostly used for broadcasting. But again, if you had a keyword message that only said, that somebody says, let's imagine somebody messages your page and says, hey, do you have any larges? What you might be able to do is say, okay, now they've engaged my bot, they're a male, and they're asking, any larges. I could create a message that says if somebody asks about larges and is a male, right, I could say the gender is male, send them this. So now I can send gender-specific messages instantly, which is really, really cool. So that's kind of the overview of the bot building platform. I wanted to give you guys some ideas of how all these things go. The best thing I can suggest for everybody here is, if you're watching this, is you really want to go through and use these things for a while and also engage in our community. We have a great Facebook fan page. If you have any questions as to how something works, feel free to message us. We'll also have messages for you and videos for you, training, things of that nature that you can watch. So I highly, highly suggest that you go through that, because the number one best way to learn is to go through the software and use it. The second best way to learn is to ask people who are currently using it or doing great things with it. So not only will we have active support that you can reach out to, but we'll also have a community where you can go and get answers. But just remember that there's two sides to all of what we're doing. One is a proactive marketing side. One is a reactive marketing side. The reactive is somebody did something, took an action, subscribed to something. How are we reacting? And then there's proacting. Okay, here's a list of all of these people. How can I proactively market to them using bots and the rules that I've been given? So there's a ton of opportunity here. As we continue to add more campaigns, you'll notice there'll be a campaign type for something called customer chat widget, which you can install on your website. And now anybody who wants to ask you any questions, they click the customer chat widget, it logs them into their Facebook Messenger, and you can have a bot ready to ask them questions and do certain things. So there's a lot of really great stuff that you guys are going to be able to utilize this with. You'll see the Messenger scan codes, Messenger reference URLs, the whole deal. We'll be adding everything as we go. So we wanted to start off with the stuff that I figured was the best. So you'll be noticing over time more integrations, more automations, things of that nature. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. It explained a little bit more about how a bot building platform works. I look forward to seeing what kind of bots you guys are going to create.